Ça va, Esti. Je suis Torque from Stars. You're watching Danstesoreilles.tv.
Salut, c'est Eliane Sauvé pour Danstesoreilles.tv. On s'est entretenu avec Torquil, le chanteur de Stars, l'un des groupes indie les plus influents de la scène canadienne. Five Ghosts is your fifth album?
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's going so fast.
It is going so fast. It's really weird. Yeah.
What were your main inspirations for this album?
We just had a lot of dealings with ghosts in the year that we were making the record. My dad died, and Chris had these weird hauntings. He was being haunted by a ghost, and it just seemed to be around us a lot in our lives, that idea of the afterlife. And so we had to do it because it was what was around. You make use of what's around, you know?
And I felt this album was like, musically, it was more soft, less intense than In a Bedroom After the War or Set Yourself on Fire. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's less intense in the sense there's less dynamic in it. There's less orchestral flourishes and there's less parts and stuff. We were really into the idea of making music that was built on rhythms and on electronic synthesized lines. So the record has a more, I think, kind of clinical vibe to it. It's a little more icy. It's a little colder. It doesn't run as hot as those records. Those records were très chaud. Yeah.
You know, in the song I Died So I Could Haunt You, you're talking about death. And you said that sometimes people are more present when they're gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just an experience that anybody who's lost someone they love would know exactly what I mean. You know, it's like when you lose someone you love, you never realized how present they were in your life, and their absence becomes an incredibly powerful energy. Like, they're not being there, it's almost like you think about them more and they're more present in a strange way than when they were there, when you took them for granted, when they were just flesh and bone and in front of you, you know? And when that flesh and bone is gone and you're left with nothing except your memories of them, those memories suddenly become incredibly powerful. And I think that's where the idea of ghosts come from. I don't know whether ghosts exist exactly, you know, as forms that move. I don't know if there's a scientific explanation for it, but I know you're haunted. I know I'm haunted, you know, by my dad and by all the people that have come and gone in my life. They don't necessarily have to be dead, you know.
And I feel the record is really personal. It's really emotional.
Yeah, I think, you know, we were a very big storytelling band, and like, you start a band because you want to like create a world that's perfect for you, you know, your little gang, your little aesthetic, and sounds like all the bands you love, and da-da-da. And then as you continue to make music, I think it's inevitable that it starts to be more you and less the things that influence you.
The scar is a fleck on my porcelain skin. Try to reach deep, but
I feel there's a lot of like winter influence in your record. Am I right?
C'est la vie de l'hiver, oui. Yeah. Well, you know, when you're at Break Glass Studios at, like, you know, Jean Talon and Clark, and it's February, you know, wind's howling down that street. It's hard to write songs that aren't winter influenced in Montreal. You've only got like 4 months to make a record. If you don't want a winter record, you better get on it.
So, what's your relation to Montreal?
Oh man, it's so intense. I've had some of the best times of my life in Montreal, and I've had the worst times of my life in Montreal. And there's parts of Montreal that I feel incredibly close to and like really deep inside. And then there's a part of Montreal because as an Anglo and a non-bilingual, well, basically non-bilingual Anglo, I'm missing this massive other city that I know exists, but I've never really been inside it, you know? So I think for Anglos in Montreal, it's a different town than it is for Francophones in Montreal. And I find it a very romantic place, but I also find Montreal, and I think, you know, if you look at the people like Leonard Cohen and Jean-Loup, and there's a tradition of sadness in music in Montreal. It can be a sad place to be, you know. It always seems like Montreal is like in the past somehow, you know. It's a city of the past, and the past really haunts you here. You can really feel it in the buildings, just in everything. It's a place where people hang on to things, I think, you know. And so that can be really lovely, but it can also be very sad and very kind of emotional for me. Montreal's a very emotional place for me.
All the beating drums, celebration guns, thunder and laughter, the last thing they remember. All the beating drums.
And Amy's gonna have a baby, so is it a synonym with a little rest?
Yeah. Yeah, well, actually not. No, we're gonna write a record. Because if you rest now, we're too old to rest now. We want to keep doing it and get a lot of work done. And in a few years, we'll see where we are and take a rest maybe. But right now, we're focused on, you know, getting as good as we can possibly get. That's what we want to do.
Well, keep on, because you're amazing, and we're really happy that you're in Montreal tonight.
Of course, and it always is like a special thing because this is our city. You know? This is where we make music. So.
Thank you very much. Merci.